Today I'm off to the cinema to watch and review the musical comedy Smurfs, starring Rihanna, James Corden, Nick Offerman and John Goodman. So what's this story about? When evil wizards Razamel and Gargamel take Papa Smurf, the Smurfs embark on a mission to the real world to save him. With help from some new friends, they must discover what defines their destiny to save the universe. Excitement level. It's probably the lowest it's ever been. Although I do like kids movies, I watched Elio recently and I actually really enjoyed that. And I'm really excited for Toy Story 5 coming out next year. But I've never seen a Smurf movie, and clearly they are quite popular because I think this is like the fourth film in the franchise. Now what's probably more of a tougher sell is not the fact that this is a kids film, is the fact that it's a musical. I do love musicals in theatre. In the cinema they're always a harder sell. I have seen some, I really enjoyed some, but I'm never ever get excited for them. So now I'm going to go in, find out what the movie's like and let you know my thoughts after the screening. Okay, so just come out of the movie, so let's go over the highlights and the hang-ups. So first of all, the highlights. I thought the animation in it was very solid, very bright and colourful, held your attention visually. Now from my limited research online, I actually thought this was a musical, and it was more of a film that featured just songs in it. But I'll take that as actually a positive. The music in it was quite good. Rihanna had a song at the beginning. James Corden done quite a good number early on in the film. But the songs are not very memorable, but when they're on, they do hold your attention. What was very surprising was the voice cast, which was very solid. It was almost like every single person from Hollywood was in this. Apart from the ones I mentioned before I went in, there was also in it Octavia Spencer, Alex Winter, Jimmy Kimmel had a little role to play in this, Kurt Russell. Some of these I didn't even recognize the voices for until when I came out of the movie and I looked up and I didn't realize that, yeah, lots of actors in this that you recognize their voices, or in my case, I didn't recognize their voices. Hang-ups. Now for a film that was only an hour and 32 minutes, this film was very, very boring. It felt really long, and I think the biggest reason why is because there was hardly a joke in it. I didn't even hear kids in the cinema laughing that much. There might have just been the odd moment, maybe the odd slapstick moment in it that made them laugh, but adults really wouldn't find anything in this movie. I was a bit worried early on because when they were in the village and they were showing you what each Smurf does, what their role is, and they made a joke from that, and then they just keep going with that joke and bashing you over the head with it, that's when you realise, okay, if this is the bar, if this is the level of comedy for this film, I'm in big trouble. And I was proved right because that was the style of comedy, or lack thereof, throughout the rest of the film. The story in this film was okay. It was kind of all over the place, and I think the main reason it didn't have any focus because the film itself didn't know who the central character was. It was kind of James Corden's character, which was the no-name Smurf, or the Smurfette played by Rihanna. That's where it didn't have any sense of focus, because I think they should have just picked one and the other one should have been the secondary character. They both had an equal role in the film, and I think it was to the detriment of the movie. Final rating. This film was very incoherent. It was all over the place, a complete mess, and I think because of that, some of its messages and themes got lost. But the biggest crime of this film is just not funny, and because of that, you really feel the runtime. This film had a short scene from SpongeBob before the film started, and even in that was really painfully unfunny too, and that should have been like a warning sign for the rest of the film for me. I think most kids will watch this film, enjoy it and forget about it a week later, but I think adults would really hate this film, and I encourage you just to avoid it completely. I actually got stung by a wasp while reviewing this before I went into the cinema, and I feel like I'd rather experience another wasp sting than have to watch this movie for a second time. I'm going to give Smurfs a 1 star, and I feel like that's being generous. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please press the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.